Luke. My channel is Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Welcome back. Unless this is the first time that you're joining my channel or seeing my channel, in which case welcome. This will be part 2 of the purchases for May, the first half of May. I just finished doing the part 1 video and I'm going to do the second part. In case you're seeing this first and haven't seen the other one, these were predominantly via trade. I traded a frame Beatles help upper part of the display case that you would find in a record store or things like that. Let's get along to part 2. This was actually purchased from an estate sale yesterday. I did not have this, it was on my want list. This is Dave Brubeck's Red Hot and Cool. This is a Columbia 6i, and it was really filthy, but it cleaned up pretty well. It does have one skip on track 3 side B. Towards the very end of that, I'll take my my jeweler's loop, and see if I can find what it is that's causing that skip, and maybe I can just get it clean it up a little bit more. Sometimes I get lucky and it's you know, a little piece of really embedded dirt or something that's stuck that you really can't see, but it comes up under a microscope, or I mean not under a microscope, I'm sorry, under a jeweler's loop, or even a magnifying glass, either one. So we'll see. Hopefully I get lucky. This next one is interesting. I'd never seen it before. It is Sparrow, the Slave, and it's a national. I've seen the Mighty Sparrow once. I think he's a calypso singer. He's an island guy. But I've never seen this record. And it looked interesting, and so it was a bit of a blind buy. It does need to be cleaned because it is kind of little dirty. But with the older, a lot of the collectors know this. Actually, all of us know this. This isn't. I'm not about to break any earth-shattering news that we don't all know. The older records, the heavier vinyl used, does tend to hold up a little bit better, and can be. You can clean it. You can, like, for example, use a non-ammonia glass cleaner and then spin clean it afterwards, and that works really, really well on the older vinyl, the thicker vinyl. Not so much on the newer, thinner one, and you really do have to spin clean it because otherwise it just leaves a residue. And Darin and Tacopa. I just like Bobby Darin. It was a $2 purchase. This is an upgrade for me. The tube's complete backwards principle. Mine is, vinyl is pretty solid, but the cover on mine is a wreck. This, on the other hand, is really tight. Across the board, I mean, even the inner sleeve is really solid, and so I was kind of pleased on this. This was part of the trade for today, and the guy who I traded with is a big Beatles fan, a big Elvis fan, a big Beatles fan, and he buys collections like I do, and I'm usually not one of his first calls, but close to one of his first calls. There's like 3 or 4 of us, depending on what he buys, collection-wise. He makes a few phone calls first. I've never seen this before, but I think Ron from Metal Ron Haggerty, I think you showed a record from 1994, and when I was looking through the stuff today, I ran across this, and I would have had no reason to even look past it, look at it twice if it wasn't for, I'm almost sure it was you that showed one just recently. So this is really clean, really tight across the board. You know, discount cutout, but other than that, it's really clean and really tight. Ron, if you see this video, give me a comment, because you'll probably be able to comment before I listen to this. Any insight would be great. You know, can't pass up a decent Sinatra. This was the Capital Pickwick series, but still, and it needs to be cleaned. But try a little tenderness. Rainbow Capital label. You know, I like Sinatra. It's relaxing. It's just, you know, it's what I like. Grand Funk Caught in the Act. I did not have this in my collection, oddly enough. Well, I'm not a huge Grand Funk fan, but, you know, if it's not in your collection and it doesn't really set you back a small fortune, grab it. And this was, didn't set me back other than a trade. And so, it's a nice little buy. And it needs to get cleaned. This one is cool. This is an upgrade for me. Ramones debut. This is the Winchester press, so it's really a nice press. I do have a Winchester press, but the cover is kind of like starting to split a little bit. So this is an upgrade for me. If anybody wants to trade, Ramones debut Winchester press jacket, you know, is gonna need a little, isn't clean, but it's, the record's clean and playable. This is an upgrade for me. So this is also really kind of interesting. This is the Fabulous Poodles. This is a promo copy. I've shown the Poodles in my top 100, and I also, as a suggestion to Bobby Z. But I didn't have this one, and this is the pink vinyl promo from the Poodles. And this one was missing in my collection, obviously, because you don't run across these very often. So I was really stoked to grab that today. You know, anytime you can come up with really unique and weird stuff. And also, this is where the Winchester press came. Same trade today. Backstory to this is, my friend, the guy who I traded with, he gets a call last week, and he actually calls me and goes, "Hey, I got this crazy person out, way out east. It's like an hour's drive. She's asking for like $300, and she says she's got some Beatles and she's got a few other odds and ends, and she wants to know, you know, what you." And so he basically is like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Well, what does she have?" And he goes, "Well, she says she's got some Beatles and some Stones." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Go take a drive, and if it looks like it's something that's really interesting, and you really think, you know, it's not going to be something you're going to be able to do on your own, call me, we'll split it." Never call me back. So he calls me yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing a big yard sale tomorrow. Why don't you come over?" And so I said, "Okay, you know what? Let me come over." And I walk over today, and there's like 5 other record guys that were there this morning, and they're like pawing through his stuff. Now I had already gone through most of his stuff months back, and it had been picked pretty hard and pretty clean. And there really wasn't much in his common stuff that I wanted. So he and I got to chatting, and I said, "So whatever happened with that Orient buy? Did you go?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I did actually." He goes, "I have it upstairs." And he goes, "Look, when these guys leave, when they're done, you go on upstairs and take a look, and we'll chat and we'll talk." So I went upstairs into his other storage area where he's got these, and he found, that's where I got the Ramones, that's where I got the Poodles, and where I also got this. Missing from my collection, Clash debut. I have the US press on Epic. I've got the promo copy. What I did not have was the Clash debut CBS UK first press, which is what this is. So I was really pleased when I grabbed that today. Followed up with Ramones Road to Ruin UK pressing on the yellow vinyl. Very, very, very pleased when I went and I saw these, and I just was like, you know, I know I traded the Beatles Help display top, but I'm very happy. Also picked up some Albert King, kind of mid 80s or early, yeah, mid 80s actually, blues, but you know, really nicely done. Didn't have any Albert King in my collection. Very pleased that I have that. Couldn't pass up some glam rock when it came across. So I got my hands on some Slade, also very, very nice. Did not have this Vanilla Fudge. So it really was, again, very clean across the board. An early Atco pressing. Label's pretty, I'm sorry, label. The vinyl's pretty nice. Good sheen. It does need to be cleaned. But other than that, it really played well. I picked this up yesterday. Connor and Ferguson. Again, just a really nice, throaty, jazzy sound to it. Just a relaxing, great listen. You know, goes back to what I was saying in part one, I believe, which is when you get to a certain point in your collection, you really have, you know, all the Beatles, except for some, you know, really obscure higher end stuff, expensive stuff that you still keep, but you have all the Beatles. You got all your Led Zeppelins, you got all your Zepp, you got all your Dead, you got all the Clash, I got all the Kinks, and so forth and so on. So you know, on the classic rock, hard rock, punk side, I pretty well got pretty much everything I want. There's here and there come across other pieces. So what do you look for? You look for the stuff you don't have, and as you get older and your tastes change a little bit and you become more open-minded to different forms of music, it opens the door to a whole other genre of music that I never gave any thought to. This is one of them, and the Nancy Wilsons and the Ella Fitzgeralds, etc., all fall into that category as well. So, moving on. The Kinks. This was really interesting. This is on Pi Records, and it's a UK import, and it's really nice. The problem with this, if you want to call it that, is that there's tape to the upper seam here. You know, look, UK imports, most Euro imports are have paper covers. We all know that. It's part and parcel of what it is. You get it. I wish they hadn't taped it, but they did. So, but for a trade, I'm not going to argue. It wasn't in my collection. It's a UK press. I dig it. Cape Verdan Blues. Nice original Blue Note. Not terribly expensive, but man, it sounds great. And we're going to conclude with some Sly and the Family Stone because, well, why not? So that was the purchases for May, the first half. I do sincerely hope that the latter part of the month goes as well. There was a couple of odds and ends that I did not include in that. That had a Thelonious Monk and Miles Davis that is in my record closet because it just needs to get cleaned and I haven't had a chance. And you know, I've just thought about it now. So maybe I'll put that on in the next 2 weeks when I do the other purchase stuff. But hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I gave you a couple of records that maybe you put on your want list, on your Discogs want list. Again, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything, if you want to trade any of this stuff, leave me a message. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm not, you know, I don't want to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you life insurance. I don't want to sell you a house or a car. You know, I'm just nothing at all. Just leave me a comment. Subscribe if you like my channel. Listen, it's Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so for everyone out there, have a wonderful Mother's Day. Hopefully the weather will be nice in your area. It's probably going to be a bit cloudy and overcast here on the island, but c'est la vie. What can you do? Cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll speak with you soon.